so massive, they got gravitational pull. And gravity has warped space-time in some days. The purple strings together on one big black hole. The pull will be enough to create a closed time-like curve. That's called a time loop, but make no mistake, it would require more energy than exists in half the mass of our universe. Brother, do you hear me? Hell no. What you talking about?
I shall read you a passage from my first novel.
Stories and literature from the African perspective.
The power of the story lies in the hands of the storyteller.
Prose, poetry, drama, thriller, fiction, and reality.
Africans must tell their own stories.
The Book Review on Smooth 98.1.
And you're welcome to Smooth 98.1. I love music, love life. It's a Smooth Book Review show today on the very last Saturday in the month of August 2021. And we are happy to be here live and direct to you today. My name is Judith TV. Welcome to the show. If it's your first time tuning in on the show, well, you're welcome. You're in for quite the delicious conversation today. We're serving the very best of African literature that you need in your life. You know, it's a needful, okay? We do the very best to create a platform for African storytelling, African writers, and just, you know, showcasing our arts, our writing, our culture, and its all diversity. And that's what we're doing today on the show. I'm talking about diversity, and this time we'll be centering women, okay, with the Book Review show. And to do that with me, I have with me in the studio a lovely lady, a special lady, a beautiful woman. I could go on. I could go on. I could go on. Her name is Amin. Amin, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining me. How are you doing?
I'm good.
I know, green hair. Last time I saw you, like you were on gold, you know, short hair, and then you changed to green. Like, black like women, listen.
Hey.
Listen. Yo, like we could do any color and still kill it.
That's true.
Listen.
That's actually true. We can do multicolors.
And then still kill it.
Yeah.
Look at
it's
you.
It's an art form.
Oh, goodness. It's a melanin, I tell you. You're welcome to the show, by the way, if you're just tuning in for the first time, to be part of the conversation. And besides, a quick reminder that we're streaming live on YouTube. So go on there and catch our beautiful faces, okay? Go onto YouTube. It's www.youtube.com/smooth981FM. Go on there and go check us out, all right? Make sure to click the subscribe button and the notification button so you can be reminded each time that we're streaming live, okay? So we're on there now streaming on YouTube. Just search for us, Smooth 981 on YouTube. Also join the conversation on our WhatsApp platform. Send us a WhatsApp message to 0809-444-0981. Again, 0809-444-0981. All right, you can also call us up here in the studio. We want to hear your voices as well. So go ahead and do so on 01-448-9981. So today on the show, we're going to be reviewing a book. Yes. And every time I take this book, I'm always interested. I'm always very fascinated by how men will be like, this book, I want to read it. I'm like, please, will you sleep?
They don't even have.
They don't even have they don't have a range. Like you can't even have these conversations. So please, just go lie down. All right, go do something with yourself. Like don't. For reviewing the book, The Sex Lives of African Women by Nana Dakwa Sayama.
You definitely murdered the name. Let's just stick with Nana.
Nana Dakwa.
Yes, Nana Dakwa.
Dakwa, that's her name. So it's a collection of true stories. Some of the names were omitted, some of the names were changed, of women around Africa. with different identities who are openly talking about their sexuality. And when women are openly talking about their sexuality with no holds barred, take all my money. Okay,
Yes.
that's what I'm talking about. Like, take all of my money. For women to sit down, talk about their sexuality, talk about their identity, talk about their bodies and their relationships and how they're able to navigate their space in this African culture that we are in. Take all my money. Okay, take it. What do you want? Pesos, naira, pounds, euro, coins? Take it all. And so that's what we're doing today. We're going to be talking about the book. We're talking about the themes of the book, the stories of the book, and we are two young, up and mobile. Is that the word?
Up. I've never understood that up and mobile because I'm not up. I don't feel very up these days. And I don't think I'm mobile. Let's just say two young African women. Wow. What the it?
What the it?
Can we say what the it? We can do what the it now.
What the it girls?
What the it girls.
Yeah, we are the it.
Yes.
Yeah, we are. So, I mean, two young women who are in their 30s and just single women.
Yes.
Yeah. So this would be the best time to have this kind of conversations. You know,
It is.
there's never a good time to have this conversation. There's never like an appointed time. I really hate that word. Appointed time. What is this? A church?
Okay.
But there's never like a wonderful time to have that conversation except now. So now is the time. And this book could never have come at a great timing to do
I'm
so.
so blessed. I just want to say that I'm blessed that this book exists, and I'm glad that Nana Dakwa put in the work. And when you read some of the stories, I was wondering, what did she ask to get women to like open up? Because some of the stories there are things you probably buried deep down,
And then-
you don't even know how they've affected your life.
You know,
Moving forward, and
Yeah.
then one day you just remember because this beautiful human being just asked you a question.
and then that means you have to be introspective and then
Yes.
ask yourself those questions as well to unearth those things that you've buried in yourself for a very long time. I
I
know.
have butterflies.
So we're going to get into the book real quickly, but first we do have to take a break. So you can go on now to go check us out on YouTube. We're streaming live on there. Go onto YouTube and find us. Hey, look at our darling there. A message here on Instagram from Ijoma Uchebi. And it goes out, green suits you. And Judith, girl, I know, we're glowing here in the studio. Stay with us. We'll be back after this break. Don't go anywhere.
Mom C used to tell me after dinner time story how they used to chop life at the yo and bad parties. Chicken curry sauce, mama is the boss, you can never have enough of party to love. But these days, all we see is just concoction, like we got smacked in the head and got concussion. No more daily treats, no more Sunday best. Is this what you eat? My God, why settle for less? It's night time, everybody gotta live it up. Maggie chickens in the kitchen, everybody season up. Mouth watering, lips smacking, finger licking. Didn't I tell you every meal tastes like chicken? Spice up every meal, don't let them taste the same. Cause Maggie chicken is making chicken great again. Just know one thing, just know I really, really love it. When you cook with Maggie chicken. Maggie chicken now comes in powder.
With Maggie, cook the difference.
Your attention, please.
Escape to amazing countries for a minute or for a lifetime.
There we go.
Navigate your way around the world and experience pleasure.
Flying flight level 900, freeway.
Smooth 98.1 brings you a fantastic voyage on the Casbah, a weekly destination guide on radio to help you make the best of your journey when you travel.
Yeah.
Discover interesting places beyond your wildest imagination. Travel the world on Fantastic Voyage here on Smooth 98.1 every Friday from 2 p.m. Wherever the place, don't just Google it, experience it.
Things changed when I discovered African books.
The Smooth Book Review on Smooth 98.1.
Most of the topic is about food, but not everything. And you're welcome back. You're listening to Smooth 98.1. I love music, love life. It's a Smooth Book Review Show. You're welcome to the second half of the show today, or the second leg of the show. My name is Judith TV. My guest is Amin. Hello, Amin.
Hi, everybody.
You can find her on Instagram. Go on there. She's at Lip Gloss Mafia. When I said your name yesterday, my co-host laughed. I was like, what sort of name is that? It's like, it's a very creative name.
Thank
okay,
you.
Very creative name.
I came up with it myself.
I know. Go into Instagram and look for her. She's at Lip Gloss Mafia on there. We're talking about the book, The Sex Lives of African Women by Nana Dakwah. You can go onto YouTube. We're streaming live on YouTube at the moment. Just search for a Smooth 981. Make sure to subscribe and click the notification button. And also you can join the conversation on WhatsApp on 0809 444 0981. Now, before the break, I talked about how this book is a collection of stories, true stories of African women exploring and talking about their sexuality, their bodies, and sex. And relationships, pretty much. But I'm going to let Amin to do the honors and tell us about this book.
Okay. So, this is a non-fiction book, by the way, if you've not said that. And many of the women in this book tell stories that record the journeys they've had in healing and understanding their bodies and their sexualities and growing in their relationships. So that's what the collection is about. You have women from Africa and within the African diaspora around the world, and they talk about, I think it's mostly about growth.
Yes.
And discovering themselves.
Yes.
What they like.
That was a recurring theme
Their
in almost
needs.
all of the stories.
Their needs.
Their truth
their
as well.
Desires. And just centering themselves more. Apparently, from all the stories I read, you really need to center yourself to understand your body and your sexuality, and then eventually enjoy your life to the fullest. And so many of the stories, I noticed that African women, we have a lot of trauma-based responses to our sex lives and sexuality. And it took this book
to realize
that there are so many things that I thought I might have enjoyed,
but you realize it was a trauma response.
It was a trauma response. And I feel like after this book needs to be discussed in a book club and within friends. By the way, I mean female friends.
Yes, I think this book should be a gift to every woman for Christmas. If you're going to meet, just give her this book for Christmas.
And then when they read it, discuss with your friends.
Yeah.
Like, let everybody just
sit down and have that conversation.
And just chat. So that we can help each other. You know, the more we know, it's easier to understand that your needs they're not even unique. Like, you're not the only person who feels a certain way. You're not the only one who wants something done a certain way. But sometimes we don't do these things because it's, the way we're brought up as girls in the African environment. It's just, I think our parents really need to apologize. It went from their parents also.
Yes,
so it's just
that's a point. That's a good one.
A thread of stress and trauma, and they just passed it down. But after reading this book, you'd realize that the buck stops here. From now on, positive vibes
all the
about
way.
Sex and sexuality. Positive vibes only. No shaming.
No shaming.
I think sometimes it's even a reflex to even Anyway, I've shared that of myself. It's very hard to shame anyone sexually because, I mean...
Well, I mean, exploring this story, like you said, it helped you realize that many of those women's, things that they did and decisions that they made and their choices were actually influenced. It was pretty much a trauma response many times. But it also makes you wonder, like, at the core of it, do you think, because there are many relationships that explore, if you haven't read this book, many of this relationship explore women who were open to, polyamorous relationship, they were open to, having multiple sexual partners. There was actually one story where a woman was like, look, I am married,
Yes.
right? But I have an open marriage, right? And and then she made a statement that she said, I want ethical, like I want all my relationships to have an ethical approach. Like you want so it's not just sex for them now. They also want some sort of relationship inside of those open, all those other multiple partners that they were having.
You know what I liked about that particular story, she and other people in the book, is if you don't say what you want, you won't get it. You just keep receiving whatever is given from partners, especially heterosexual men, who they don't exactly know better, because it's not like they came with a script from heaven on how to please any woman they meet. So you need to tell them that this is what I want. Are you open to trying an open relationship? Are you open to trying this particular things? You need to communicate. But unfortunately, we can't even communicate it, because it's I don't know if it's the fear of being rejected or being seen as less than or wanting those things. But after reading this book, you have to say it.
You just have
You
to.
have to say it.
You have to.
Just say what you want.
I
say
was
what you don't like. Especially, oh my God, women, you have to say what you don't like, because I know there are so many women right now that are doing things they don't like just because Baba likes it, but you don't like it. So why are you wasting time?
the misconception that women who are sexually liberated cannot be preserved. That they cannot preserve themselves, or
they can't be
the
faithful.
misconception that women who are sexually liberated are not looking like sexual liberation and and what's the word I'm looking for, and respect should not be in the same sentence with African culture. And that's one thing that was very eminent, because there were many women who said, oh look, I'm walking out of this relationship even though I asked for this and you're giving me everything I want. You're no more being respectful, and I'm going to walk out. And these men were like, I don't get it, but that's what you said you wanted. So many of them is like, yeah, but like, you're not being respectful because you don't know what the boundaries are.
Yes.
And I've explained to you what the boundaries are. And people are now like, oh well, if you're sexually liberated, and there's this notion that being sexually liberated is being the A word,
Yeah.
being the P word,
Unfortunately.
the H word. And
Or
so
the
because of that,
W word.
the W word. So you cannot be, you can't, you shouldn't put respect in that sentence. What do you say to that?
It's unfortunate for the men, and I feel like as women are evolving now, I feel bad for the men, because they're going to be left behind. I do feel bad for them, but they need to like wake up and see what's going on around them, because it's not every woman that is going to hold their hand and say, oh, can you do this, can you do that? Yes, I mean, if they are really into you, they would, and they want to preserve or make you a better person in life. But what if it's just one partner you meet somewhere and you just come with everything, because we know they watch a lot of adult films, and those are not very accurate. It's nice for like the 10 seconds enjoyment you might get from it, but when you look at it as a whole experimental film, they don't really do much.
Exactly. I think of it as
in
experimental.
helping.
It does
Yeah,
nothing.
it
Absolutely
really
nothing.
does nothing. That is why there's the shame when you finish watching and doing. That's why there's the shame, because you realize that this was it didn't work. It did not work. So I feel like moving forward, men have to give themselves brain, but for the women, we need to lift ourselves and learn how to communicate. My goodness, I can't even overemphasize the need to speak up and just say what you want.
Speaking about speaking up and saying what you want, there was also a story of a woman who her relationship or her marriage sort of after children
Yes.
became sexless, and she made the decision to divorce him and walk away. And they were a Muslim couple.
Yes.
And you find that very recurrent in pretty much almost all the stories about how, they were not, their needs were not being met and they were walking away.
See, can you remember? Did you read The First Woman by Jennifer Makumbi? Can you remember one part where I can't remember the names again, but the grandma from the village said something about how society places these tags on women to reduce
you know,
their
this
worth.
yeah,
And they just like tag you as wife, mother. Once they put that, it's like, oh nah,
you're in this box.
she's not a sexual being anymore. Just, you know,
There are no
you have to
needs.
respect her. It's like the respect is you put her on that pedestal, she has no desires, she has no needs.
You shouldn't
she
have
doesn't need-
desires.
exactly.
And be vocal about those
and then
desires.
the men, they're like, I don't think I can do what you're asking me to do because you're
Because
the mother
you're
of my children.
yeah.
You know, you're my wife.
You're my wife. So
And then it's like, so it's okay if you go outside. Like, I don't even think the logic makes sense. If you can't do that with the person you're married to, then you go outside with another partner, and then that person is
all of
for
a sudden
you, it's
okay.
okay to do that.
Yeah.
Like, don't you feel like you're disrespecting one or the other? You're so nuanced.
Yeah, I'm glad you got to this point because all of the women here are so nuanced. And I don't want to use very complicated, because complicated is like when they say women are complicated is a hard word, but men are complicated. We all are complicated, right? And so the women in this book, they're quite nuanced, you know.
Yes.
And
it shows that African women and their sexuality is not a monolith. It really is not. We've just been put into this box. You're either the P word or you are
the W word.
A nun.
Yeah,
There's no in between. You either have this or you have that. And actually, they are all entering each other. It's gray. It's different shades of gray now. Anything goes.
Yeah.
Like, I can like ice cream and still like frozen yogurt. I don't know if that analogy works. Oh my god.
A gelato?
Thank you.
Ice cream and gelato? I mean, it's pretty much almost the same.
I can like tea and I can like coffee. Like,
why
do
that's
you
a
have
good
to
one.
put me in a box? Like, why do I have to be a tea drinker or a coffee drinker? I like both. It depends on my mood. Any which way, whatever makes me happy at the time, I will go for it. And that's we need to put ourselves more now. Like,
center ourselves.
Like, if it's not working, just tell the person stop.
It's not going to work.
It's not going to work. And I like that a lot of the women had these experiences in the book, and I saw the responses from their partners, and like, okay.
Many were shocked. Many walked away.
Shocked. They did not understand why they'll be rejected at that particular time. But bro, it's not working. I ain't feeling it anymore. Like, time to move on. But it pains them. I think they take it as a personal affront because most men have been brought up that's your superpower. If that don't work.
Oh, speaking of superpower, like we're gonna get back after this break, but there was a particular story that I liked when a woman was referring to heterosexual sex as drawing out her divine power.
Ooh.
We're gonna get to that. Stay with us. This is a Smooth Book Review Show right here on Smooth 98.1. Love music, love life. My guest is Amin. We're reviewing the book, The Sex Lives of African Women by Nana Dakoa. It follows all diverse of women in African women, both in the African country and its global diaspora, as they speak of their diverse experiences of sex, sexualities, and their relationships. Stay with us.
Book review on Smooth 98.1.
Things changed when I discovered African books.
The Smooth Book Review. We'll be right
I'm
back.
a storyteller and I write about things I recognize.
Smooth 98.1.
1xBet makes betting easier with their app for both Android and iPhone users. From finding games easily, playing virtuals, and betting with ease and speed has made it more fun to play on the 1xBet app. Download the 1xBet app on our website, 1xBet.ng, and use the promo code NG21 if you're creating your account for the first time. 1xBet. Bets for everything.
Smooth 98.1.
So you like funk, you like jazz, you like world music, you like R&B? You're welcome to the home of great music, Smooth 98.1.
Things changed when I discovered African books.
The Smooth Book Review on Smooth 98.1.
Listening to Smooth 98.1, Love Music, Love Life. You're welcome back. It is a Smooth Book Review show right here in Smooth 98.1, Love Music, Love Life. And the woman herself just commented on our YouTube. There's nothing. Everyone, go home. Everyone,
it's all over.
Go home.
The show is done.
The show is done. It's over. There's nothing else to say. You guys just go home. Oh
Hi,
my
Nana.
God. Hi, Nana. Big fan. Thank you so much for this book. We needed it at this time. There was no better way for this book to come out except now for us to have these conversations. It's wonderful to be able to open up conversations about this. So big thank you to Nana Dakoa for this book. Mwah, mwah, mwah. We absolutely love you. And also big shout out to William Ipaye there. He says, fantastic topic, ladies. Thank you so much. You can join us on Instagram, on YouTube as well, I beg your pardon, and go on there and go review. Join us there on the show. We're on YouTube. Search for us. We're at Smooth981. And she's saying she's enjoying the show, and we are here for it. Thank you. And also, Ijoma there is like, go Nana. I love your book so far. We absolutely do. So go on there to the YouTube there. We are at Smooth981. Make sure to follow the show. Comment on there, and also comment on us on our WhatsApp on 0809-444-0981. Again, 0809-444-0981. All right, let's get back into the show, right? Shall we?
Yeah.
The notion that women cannot, after a certain age, there was a woman who was very old and pretty much enjoying.
When I read that one, I was like, oh my goodness.
Listen.
Goals. This is goals. Because she was living her best sex life.
This woman
and
was living.
I was just excited. I'm like, yes. I claim this for myself.
Putting out there in the world.
But she did the work. It didn't just happen by magic. That's the thing. She did the work.
Thank
she
you.
Communicated.
Thank
there was
you.
Heartbreak.
Thank you.
There was growth. There was healing. So yeah, we have to do the work.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to get to. It's like, is it that as African women we cannot just have it easy, or as women in general, can we not just have it easy?
The suffering part is kind of, it's just, they don't want us to have a soft life. That's their problem. But we will have it.
By there, what do we mean?
By hook or by crook. We will have soft lives. So if it's hard work that we're going to do to get to the softness, then I guess that's what we're going to have to do. Did you notice how intimate this? It's like you're in a living room, yeah, and everybody has their turn to share their stories.
Yeah.
There's a certain intimacy I felt when I was reading this book, and I couldn't just read like all the stories at the same time. After reading one, I have to calm down. Like, wow. You went through so much.
True story. True story. When I reached out to Amin, when I reached out to Amin, I said, Amin, you're coming tomorrow. What are you doing tomorrow? She was like, this girl. I was like, for real, what are you coming to do? Come on, review this book with me. The next thing she goes, have you finished your book now? Like, it was like a circulation. Like, how dare you finish this book
so soon?
Like, I was like, I had to lie. It's like, I mean, I haven't finished it. I'm not finished. I'm halfway through because it's like,
you need to take your time.
You just have
need to take your time. They're like 30, I think 30, or is it 33?
33.
Stories in it. So just take your time, read one, and then digest it, eat it, go back again and come back. There are some parts I had to reread and I'm like, wow. And I don't know if it's the power of Nana also, because I need to know what she was asking. Or
Good question.
Like, it's a testament to her interview skills.
Thank you.
Also.
That's a very good look at it.
The way they opened up, and obviously she had to, do some writing. And
there's also an edit as well going to make it edit. Presentable. Yeah.
So, man, shout out to you, Nana, because the magic you did in this book, the way the stories come out, and it's almost like they were remembering. So it's not linear. The stories are not even linear. She goes to the past, they come back to the present, and then a memory pops up. So it's I don't know how to tell you people, you just read this book, man.
Want to cry.
Everybody needs to read the book. And the older women, and there were some that were younger than us. I'm like, you have gone through so much. And then I think back, I'm like, But I mean, you've also gone through so much. Maybe I need a nana to come and sit me down and like ask me some stuff.
Look, listen,
Like, to
there's
have
gonna
my
be
mini
tissues
therapy.
somewhere. Like,
There will
yeah,
definitely be tissues.
will be tissues,
Because there were some
drinks.
stories I read, and then they triggered some flashbacks, and I had some tears. I'm like,
Okay, so this is the reason why I do what I do, probably.
this is wow.
Yeah.
This is probably why. And then I want to like be bold and try to take care of that. But it's so hard because there's still something holding me back. Like, maybe
yet.
not. Maybe it's not the time yet. But when will be the time? Because we can off anytime.
I know.
So
I know.
we do need to be proactive about our own joys
Yes.
and pleasures
Yes.
and desires, because those needs are valid.
Proactivity on
That's what that's one of my biggest takeaways
From this book. Yeah.
Your desires are valid.
Yeah.
Every single one of them. Work, life, sex, food, anything. Your desires are valid. So just go for it. What's the worst thing that could happen?
True, but when you look at the proactivity of chasing after your desires and your joys, one of the stories that struck me was Nisha. Nisha is bisexual, who says that she's only had a very deeper connection with men, although she has sex with women, but she has a deeper connection with men, right? And towards the end, she made a statement. She said that some women, some other women who have same-sex relationships would look at her as a narcissistic guy, as the guy, the bad guy, and she had bad vibes. And then that was quite interesting because it's like, well, I mean, Nana, you did something there, and that story I'm gonna give you that, because it's like when I have friends who would, I mean, I'm not going to put their business out here, but like they would say that, people who are of the LGBTQ plus community, they'll be like, there are women who they are attracted to, who they can see that, oh look, but you look queer, like you act queer, and like you engage with our activities, you want to be with us sexually, but when it's time to have that relationship, you don't want to do it, So it's in the chase of joy, of your own joy, the truth is at the end you might inconvenience others, maybe hurt others along the way, and you may not be able to help it.
You can't help it. But I think eventually others would adjust. No, they would adjust. Because if you don't center yourself, you're the only one that is going to be in your grave, really. And those who are being inconvenienced, eventually we realize that, okay, this is not the space I want for myself. So they would also move and adjust. So I really do think in the end, it works out. It's hard, it's tough, but it will work out.
Do you think that going around and telling people what you want out of a relationship, you can tell them, but at the end of the day, people sort of want to change, or maybe hope that in the end you might change? Because that was also a recurring thing with all of their relationships. Let's explore the relationships now. In almost all the relationships, if not all of the relationships, there were many times that these women went into relationships being very vocal about what it is that they wanted out of that relationship, or pretty much, or maybe showed it what they wanted. But either the women or the partners that they were with at the time probably must have wanted it then, but then the most constant thing in everything else is change,
Yes.
And seeing them navigate it oftentimes doesn't end well,
Doesn't always end well. But at least, even if at the time you made your decision, that's the thing. It might make you sad, but in the long run you realize that you made the right choice. So I think that's key. Like, change doesn't always make you happy anyway. It's neither right or wrong. It's a change that you needed to make at the time with the information you had. So we move on and deal with the consequences eventually. But in the relationships, heterosexual relationships are what do they call? Is it landmines or a field filled with mines? But it's very tricky to live your best life. Really.
It's tricky.
It's tricky.
I'm glad you said that, because I mean these women were trying so hard.
They tried so
to
hard,
live their
and
best
why?
life. There's always something there holding you back, or just something like, can we live our full life and not? I mean,
I don't want to keep going back to how we were raised, but it's such a big
But
part.
but no, the truth is it is. Because when you look at all the stories and all the women in the stories, they had to go back to why they made the decisions that they make. And you can see, like you said earlier, many of them were trauma responses.
They were trauma. Oh my God. We're stressed.
Which brings me to my next question. Are we, because I've had this conversation here before on the show, are we African women? People will say I've seen a TikTok video where someone says that it's science for women to be monogamous because our brain releases the same oxytocin. Look at that means face.
You're speaking big grammar.
I know, but I've seen it. And then with this book sort of dispels that notion that, African women cannot be, some women, not every one of them, right? But some women actually don't have the monogamous bone.
I don't even think women have monogamous, because have you seen how a woman can love her 3 or 4 children equally and still have space for the husband and still love everyone? So
I've said this thing so many times.
Technically, women have the capacity to love. And there's space.
There's this notion that especially men, and they push it, they're like, women cannot love, we cannot have multiple. I'm like, are you a woman?
They don't know. That's because they don't have the
science.
range.
Then they will now come and bring up science, which makes me really sad. It's like, you now bring up science and tell me,
bringing science
that women cannot have multiple sexual partners because when they do, there's always this thing in their brain that that releases, and it's the same thing that I'm like. But there are people who. Then what would you say about sex workers? I mean, do they love all their partners? What would you say about them? I mean, what would you say about the girls on Instagram? Those ones that do it for money. What would you say about them? What would you say about service girls? Do they do that? It wouldn't be any.
Men need to keep up because we're moving fast. Like,
and they're like, oh, women cannot be in polyamorous relationship. You can see a man marry several women, but cannot see a woman marry several men. I'm like,
these men love these women equally. I'm not even against.
And I push it, and I was
you
like,
can marry them.
Yeah, but it's obvious.
Like, can you though? Do you have? I don't think a man has the range. Like, they are very rare. They are rare. It's not all men. They are very rare men that have the range to love women equally. Like, if you pack like 4 women that you're dating, like, because of the time and effort involved. But for women, it's actually effortless for some reason. I don't know why. We can love 36. Yes, women, push yourself to the limit. You can do it. You can love 36
My body will pay me.
It will not pay you. Because that's the thing. You're looking at it like in terms of, okay, these 36 partners are all for sexual relationships, but some are just like your emotional support animals. I don't want to let me not say animal, but they are your emotional support.
I don't want to beg you.
Okay, and some are just people that are there for you and your spirituality. Like, you people vibe on the higher level.
I said this so many times. I was like, that women who like are able to, they know what the relationship is about.
Exactly.
I have friends that I want to travel with. I know I'm saving money with you. We're going to travel. I know friends that are sports guy people, they're fitness people, and women are able to put those boundaries because we have been able to sit back and understand what we want. And we're more vocal about it, And guys do that too. But why are you not saying that women cannot have it?
I need women to do it more. Because I've noticed that when women, especially women in a heterosexual relationship, fall in love, they just like put all those desires like inside the box and like, oh, whatever you want, babe. No, that's the time where you're supposed to bring it out. Because if someone loves you, they will allow you be free and to blossom. Because how else do you show that you love someone? It's like a plant. Like, you water it, you talk to it, you put manure, whatever. That's when you love something, you help it blossom. You help them be their best selves, sexually, spiritually.
Which takes me back to that story.
Which one?
That one that had the Haitian lady that was saying that she realized that sex with men drew out her divine power.
See that line. You need to read that part.
I sat down.
You need to read that part.
And that's what I'm asking.
That line was
That's
deep.
what I'm reading from. I'm like, I sat down. I was like, wait,
Oh my goodness.
Wait, is it me or did anyone feel this thing?
I felt it. I felt the world shift.
I'm like,
And I'm
because I'm exhausted. Man, this man,
get
listen.
It takes a lot. It takes a lot. You need to be with like a special man. You need to be with a very special man for it not to be like to take energy out of you.
Listen.
Thankfully, there are some special men. Thankfully.
But
they
navigating
are
to
rare.
get to this point where they're very good. I'm so
Yes.
what put the operative word there.
Yes.
Say it. They are what?
I've forgotten. They are rare.
Adjective. Yeah.
They are rare.
They're very rare. That's what we're doing. We're going to break.
But they exist.
I mean,
let's not dull people.
I never said they're. It's
They are
like saying
there.
dinosaurs are rare. They don't exist anymore.
Also,
right?
you can. Let me not use the word groom. I don't like that word.
Please don't.
You can help them evolve. That's the ones that are not rare. You can find some with potential. They are rare. They are the rare ones, and there are some with potential to evolve.
I don't have power in my 30s.
No,
I mean, I cannot do things in my 30s. We need to go for a short
I feel
break.
like I'm an academy. So.
We do have a message here. Let's quickly take this one. This is from Austin from Satellite Town. He said, good morning, ladies, girls, women. I am listening. Oh, I am enjoying the conversation. Keep it going. Ice cream and frozen yogurt. I heard that very well. I beg, make una have mercy for the men. Please don't forget that men are always at work. Your guest is a real women
Who is not
liberator.
working? Are we
Fighting
not
for.
working?
I don't know. Austin. I honestly don't know what you're doing. Austin.
I'll beat you.
We need to go for a short break now. We'll come back.
Book review on Smooth 98.1.
Things changed when I discovered African books.
The Smooth Book Review. We'll be right
I'm
back.
a storyteller and I write about things I recognize.
Mom, see, used to tell me after dinner time story how they used to chop life at the yo and bad parties. Chicken curry sauce, my mom is the boss, you can never have enough of party to love. But these days, all we see is just concoction, like we got smacked in the head and got concussion. No more daily treats, no more Sunday best. Is this what you eat? My God, why settle for less? It's high time, everybody gotta live it up. Maggie chickies in the kitchen, everybody season up. Mouth water, then lip smacking, finger licking. Didn't I tell you every meal tastes like chicken? Spice up every meal, don't let them taste the same. Cause Maggie chicken is making chicken great again. Just know one thing, just know I really love it. When you cook with Maggie chicken. Maggie chicken now comes in powder.
With Maggie, cook the difference.
Things changed when I discovered African books.
The Smooth Book Review on Smooth 98.1.
And you're welcome back. You're listening to Smooth 98.1 at Love Music, Love Life. It's a Smooth Book Review show right here on Smooth 98.1. My name is Judith TV. My guest in the studio is Amin. You can find her on Instagram. She's at Lip Gloss Mafia. We're reviewing the book, The Sex Lives of African Women. It's by Nana Dakour. You can find her on Instagram as well at Nana Dakour. We're streaming live on YouTube as well. So go on there to YouTube. We're at Smooth 981. Go on there and check us as we stream live. The Sex Lives of African Women uniquely amplifies individual women from across the African continent and its global diaspora as they speak of their diverse experiences of sex, sexualities, and relationships. Many of the women who tell their stories in this collection recall the journeys they have traveled in order to own their sexuality. They do this by grappling with experiences of child sexual abuse, resisting the religious edifice of their childhood by asserting their sexual power. So this story provides a deep insight into women's quest for freedom and highlights the complex tapestry of African women's sexuality and bestows upon all women inspirational examples to live a truly liberated life. So big shout out to Nana for this book. We're going to take a quick excerpt from the book, just very, very quickly. It's from page 80, all right? And it tells the story of Chantal, okay? So, yeah, I'm only reading this excerpt. I'm only taking 2 paragraphs. Everybody go and buy this book.
Very important.
I'm going to post it on our station's WhatsApp and as well as a link to go and buy it. Buy it for Christmas for every woman in your life.
Yes.
All right? It's very important that you do so.
Absolutely.
All right. Let's take an excerpt from the book. Chantal. Chantal is a 35-year-old Haitian woman who identifies as a same-gender loving person. In the narrative below, she speaks about the connection between voodoo, one of the national religions of Haiti, and the earthiness of sexuality. In Haiti, voodoo is recognized as a national religion. The divinity of sexuality is close to the divinity of death, which is regarded in high esteem. On the Day of the Dead, usually celebrated in November each year, people do not go to schools. If you walk the streets, you see people fall into trances, and at night you hear voodoo ceremonies take place all over the country. In voodoo, there are divinities and deities that reflect the spectrum of human experience. Sexuality has its own gods, goddesses, and in-between gender goddesses. Sexuality is vulgar, but not in the Western sense. Vulgar is blunt, courageous, verbal, and sexual. Physicality and the moving of bodies in dance is very sexual. Being able to do these vulgar sexual dances, even in high society, is regarded as culture, and Haitians are proud of their culture. In one way or the other, voodoo permeates all aspects of the culture, even among conservative Christian families and high socio-economic groups. This was the backdrop to growing up in Haiti before the internet. There was closeness to the ground, to the land. My grandparents would take me to the countryside, and I would see people bathing in rivers, people with their fingers and toes in the ground, in the earth, working the land. This experience of shamelessly seeing black bodies, of feeling the spirit of labor, of proximity to earth, has shaped how I look at my own body. I was about 9 years old when I first touched myself. I thought this was a special thing that only I could do. I had the most powerful orgasms of my life in early childhood. I could feel how powerful my body was. And you're listening to Smooth, the 98.1 Love Music, Love Life. That was an excerpt from the book, The Sex Lives of African Women by Nana Dakoa. That excerpt was from page 80, and it tells the story of a 35-year-old Haitian woman who identifies as a same-gender loving person, and her name is Chantal. It's quite a beautiful story, by the way, because she navigates both heterosexual relationship, same-gender relationship, and she also accepted that she wanted to be a mother and went for it and became a mother.
Yes. Bold of her to make that choice and to go for it and to stick with it. Despite, how society can be. Who is this society, Gonself? But she did what she had to do. Do we have a call?
You don't know? No, we do not. But you can call us up on 0144899981. Again, 0144899981. We already have 2 minutes before we leave the studio, so make sure to call us up. But before we go, let's quickly talk about the themes of the book and how much you love this book. We've been raving about how much we love it. There's nothing missing in this book, so we're just going to wrap it up with a nice bow and give everyone as a gift. So
okay. Well, everything we've talked about, themes. It talks about sex and sexuality and healing and discovering yourself, relationships,
body autonomy,
body autonomy,
black bodies.
So, there's so much in this book, but it deals with everything well. Like each person's story helps you realize how nuanced women's desires and needs and women in general are. And you realize that African women are not a monolith. Those in Africa, those in the diaspora, we are not inside one box. Okay? It's like a Venn diagram with like plenty circles. And we just mix match. So try not to let me just give an advice to men after reading this thing. Try not to approach women with what you already know. Like shed whatever it is. When you're meeting a new woman, it's a blank page.
Yes.
Okay? What happened like with your 50 other relationships is not the same thing that's going to happen with number 51. It's you cannot know the extent. Like women are vast in the things they love and the things they appreciate. So be open to learning, just unlearn the craziness. You even have a better time. And for women, like after reading this book, I think I'm going to be more open about I used to think I was open, but now I realize I haven't been as open as I would have liked. So I'm going to work on that and communicate better on what I want, even with myself, especially for myself, because, the better you're taking care of yourself, the more you can, share yourself.
Yes.
Because you cannot pour out of a cup that is empty.
That's empty. Absolutely.
So you have to keep filling yourself up.
Yes.
That love language that you say you speak.
Speak it to yourself. Yes.
Jinx. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Wow. Thinking. What about you? What did you enjoy the most?
Oh my goodness. I think that what I enjoyed most about this book was just how the coverage, it wasn't so much to just African women alone. It really broke the stereotype that one African woman is just a singular thing, this one thing that the media sort of portrayed. And this book really dispelled that and showed that we are diverse, not just as bodies or people or color, but and individuals, but also there's an individuality with us. And we just say, we're African women are individuals, but like she showed the individuality with us. I enjoyed the nuance of it, I enjoyed that, she was able to look at trauma as like a trauma response and just look at those abuse that people forget that we Nigeria, like we African women see and go through and how it shaped us. Sometimes, like you said, like they don't refer, like African women are not humans. Black women are supposed to be strong. We're not soft. We're strong.
Please, I'm a fragile flower.
Now, it's beautiful to see that, we are soft. We go through these things, and sometimes the decisions that we make is because of that. And I love that. I love that. I love that this was written by an African woman.
Yes. I mean, there's no other person that could have written it.
Nobody better should have done this than an African woman. And I'm so thankful that it's somebody who... And you can see the intentionality with this. How it was curated.
Spoiler alert.
Don't do it.
Spoiler alert.
Do not
I'm not telling you everything. But Nana also has a story in it.
I said don't do it.
I had to do it because we're trying to sell this book.
Okay.
I don't tell you anything about it. I said Nana has a story in it.
Yeah.
So something to
I didn't
look
bring it out this whole
forward
time
to.
so people can just see it. Why'd you put it on there?
Because it's in the content. You can just check it in the content part. I'm surprised you don't even know that. Because like when you're checking the content of the stories, you can already tell.
We're already out of time. I'll get the other step. I have to step in. The other gang have to step into the studio, but we do have to go. But this was a fantastic gift to Black women and Black and brown women in the diaspora. And this was a good book, and it was about time we saw this. Big shout out to Nana. Make sure to grab this book. Go on to all the online stores. Reverend Heights page. You can find them. Quida book is on there. It was published this year, 2021, by Dialogue Books. All right, so go on there and grab the book. All right. And it's going to be so much fun. A big thank you to everyone who joined us on live stream here on YouTube, and also a big shout out to everyone on WhatsApp. This last message here is from Charles Chidozie. It goes, emphasis on Black Bodies, smooth book review. Charles Chidozie, thank you so much. It's been wonderful being here, but I do have to wrap things up here and go. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Where can they find you on Instagram?
At
and everything
Mafia.
just Plug out everything.
Just Google at Lip Gloss Mafia
Yes.
and everything you need to know will be on there.
See, I mean, she's a big girl. I don't have. I'm at Judith TV. Stick around. Coming up at 11 a.m. sharp is going to be time for the Total Football Gang. Olakunle is at my back. He's like, get out of the studio, get out of the studio. And of course, there's Diego Kingston here with us in the studio. It's goodbye from me. Find me on Instagram. I am at Judith TV. And make sure to join us next week for another exciting edition of the Smooth Book Review Show. It happens every Saturday at 10 a.m. For now, it's goodbye and good morning.
Stories and literature from the African perspective.
The power of the story lies in the hands of the storyteller. If those who have lived it tell their own story.
Prose, poetry, drama, thriller, fiction, and reality.
Africans must